Okay, folks, good morning. This will help. Good morning, and welcome to Swing Trading Today. Uh, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I hope everybody has a really great time with their families and enjoy this time of year. I always do. As tiring as it is, it's really a great time of year, and I'm looking forward to the new year. Before we begin, if I could ask you just to give this video a like button, I really want to, in 2020, pump up this channel, get a lot more people engaged, especially with the live streams. And by you clicking that like button, it really gets a lot more people involved with the live streams, engaged. And I think that in the end, it helps everybody out when we talk about the markets and the news that is driving the markets together. I simply enjoy this open forum, and I hate doing the edited version of the commentary. No, I don't hate it. I just get more enjoyment out of doing the live streams because I get Q&A back and forth. So let's begin. Looks like there aren't many people joining us just yet. I'm on a little bit late. So let's begin with the news here. Let's see if anything popped up. I'm getting started late here. I'm actually just playing catch up. It's 5:04 in the AM right now, Eastern Standard Time, and of course, January. Duh. I'm already into January. December the 24th. Okay. Shannon stopped playing games. Nothing. El-Arian, my main worry is Europe. Mohamed El-Arian is a very bright guy, and I share his concerns about Europe. And I believe that it's Europe that's actually been propping up the U.S. dollar for a while now. I don't see much going on here in terms of news that would move the market. Let's see what's churning over on CNBC. Boeing CEO out. He had that coming. GM and Ford and others cut thousands of jobs and closed factories to save billions in 2019. Very sad, but more of that is to come. The North Koreans, this is interesting, seem ready to test long-range missiles as it returns to old tactics of talks with the U.S. Great. Good morning, Sam. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us. All right, so not much on the news front. It'll be quiet. Nobody wants to rock the boat during the holiday season, so don't expect much news that's within the control of the financial news media and the government. Let's go to the futures. Let's begin with the dollar. 4-hour chart. These all be 4-hour charts. The dollar has bounced a bit this morning. I mean, yesterday's price action, I don't know if anybody has the daily chart in front of them. Let's just bring it up really quick. Was a horrible day. A bearish key reversal day. And I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see another pullback here. We seem to be gaining a little bit of steam this morning. This is a 15-minute chart. There's a bid under the dollar. And I looked earlier, and there appears to be a bid under gold as well. So something is up geopolitically. When you have the dollar and gold trading in tandem, that's a sign of geopolitical risk. I don't know whether or not it'll be the North Koreans. Could be something else that we just don't know about yet. Here's gold surging this morning, just shy of that 1,500 mark. We're at, is this accurate? Yeah, 1495 spot 6 on gold. We are very long of the gold miners, and I'll share with you right now. We have NUGT. I looked earlier. They're already spiking it up. They're bidding it up in the pre-market. So if you're looking to get long of it, don't. We're right at resistance. And there's another stiffer resistance level immediately above. So we'll be looking to add more to this position. So me personally, I wouldn't go adding more right now. Too much risk, not enough reward. Good morning, Mila. Merry Christmas to you as well. Sam, I went long of gold, by the way. Congrats on that. With a small position. You have silver. Good. Silver began outperforming gold. Good for you, Sam. Congratulations. Good luck with that trade. So the miners are being bid up this morning. Gold being bid up this morning. We've had a good year. It's been a good year. A lot of fits and starts, a lot of volatility in gold, but it appears as though we are setting up to finish the year, not at the highs, but a strong year nonetheless. You finally signed up? Oh, good. Welcome aboard. I didn't see the, when did you sign up? Overnight or? I got to go check. You should have got a welcome email. And how was the sign-up process? Was it easy or was it hard? I'm going to be focusing a lot this year on customer experience. There are bugs in the system. It drives me crazy. Well, welcome aboard. Let's take a look at other commodities for a moment. As a matter of fact, Sam brought up silver. Let's take a look at silver. Italy's a mess. It's a great country. My wife has a lot of family over there. Some of them were just here in October. Great people. Great people. All right, silver looking really, really good here. We're up this morning by over 1%. A bit overbought on RSI. Silver's looking good. Sign up was easy. No welcome email. Okay? Great site, lights of value. Thank you for that. There's more to come. There's a lot more to come. Thank you for that. Sam, authorization mess for... Yeah, huh? Sorry to hear that. What do you mean, like red tape over in Italy? A lot of red tape? That's what I'm assuming that you meant. I'll wait for that answer. I know there's a delay. Let's take a look at Nat Gas. I don't know if Patrick joined us yet. Maybe he'll catch us on the replay. But Patrick's a fellow member, and I know he's not long of Nat Gas. At least he didn't let me know he re-entered the position yesterday. Normally he'll shoot me an email. Nat Gas is down yet. Wow, on the chin. It took it today. Down another nearly 1 1/3% on the day. We'll take a look at Nat Gas on the standalone charts in a moment. I want to see what's going on there, whether or not there's any opportunity that's developing. We've had 2 back-to-back days of really devastation, and I always like to trade commodities, ETFs, that have opportunity, and nat gas may be setting up for a short covering rally. So we'll take a look at that chart in a moment, see whether or not we have any opportunity. It may be a bit too early, especially for a commodity. Taking a look at home heating oil. We've been talking a lot about inflation and how it's rearing its head. Even though the federal government says it doesn't exist, I've been pointing out that inflation is rearing its head. And here's home heating oil. If this is not an ominous setup here, I don't know what is. Granted, it's a 4-hour chart, but look at the ever-tightening Bollinger Bands here. And when you see Bollinger Bands, excuse me, when you're breaking out of a weekly base, I'll go to that chart in a moment. When you're breaking out of a weekly base and have these Bollinger Bands tightening, generally the resolution is to the upside. So we'll take a look at the weekly chart. Yeah, look at this. Here's your weekly chart. Higher lows. And now we're breaking out above this upper band of resistance. And we're poised to put in a new weekly high. So home heating oil, of which I use a lot of which I have a lot of guests over my house right now for the holidays, of which they're letting a lot of home heating oil out of the house as they clean the house in preparation for Christmas. I mean, it's crazy. It's cold here, and they're letting all my heat out. I digress. All right, let's get back to the charts. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had an interesting day yesterday. We're long of Bitcoin. We're profitable on it, but we had to give back some of our gains yesterday. We were up, then we pulled back. It looks like what we did here is that we filled the gap, which opened up yesterday, and we're consolidating. I want to go to a weekly chart for a moment. And we are right in the middle of a trading range here on Bitcoin. Last Thursday, I shared that you see a direct correlation between Bitcoin and inflation. I showed the charts of how inflation, again, I repeated this earlier, or I mentioned it earlier, how inflation is rearing its head and how Bitcoin does rally with inflation, whether you're using the CPI or whatever metric that you're using. Bitcoin is correlated with inflation. We're looking for a rally here. A little bit of a pullback this morning, though. You can see the dollar on this 15-minute chart continues to press higher. This is the 10-year on a 4-hour basis. It's holding its ground here, inching up higher. Let's go to the 10-year bond. As a matter of fact, wrong chart. The 10-year bond. The weekly chart is weak. Still unable to break out. I want to bring up a chart of the yield. The 10-year yield on a weekly basis. We watch this very carefully. And we have a new weekly high on the 10-year yield. And here's a tell, is that normally when you get yields, unless of course you have stagflation, that's my caveat. Generally, you'll see a pullback in gold, you'll see a pullback in silver, but you didn't get that. Yesterday, you saw gold and silver rally. You saw it rally last week as well. And you could argue that the reason why you got that rally, and it would be a fair argument, although earlier in the day they did rally together, you saw a reversal on the US dollar. But remember, we did put in a new weekly high yesterday, and gold and the gold miners were rallying along with it. So some interesting tells going on here. And the reason why it's really interesting and bullish for gold and silver, if it lasts, is that if at such time we begin to pull back on yields and pull back on the dollar, which the dollar looks like it's going to pull back, you're going to see a huge amount of money flow rotate into the precious metal space and keep a bid under that sector. So very interesting happenings here with the general inverse correlation between gold and silver. And here's the 10-year yield on a yearly basis. And we appear poised to close down below critical support on a yearly basis. I digress. Let's get back to the charts. Let's go back to the 4 hours. What else do we have up here that we want to go over? Let's take a look at the stock market futures. S&Ps flat this morning with a bias to the upside, consolidating very, very nicely. The daily charts look ominous, very, very ominous for the S&P 500, for the Dow, but I can't short it yet. I may be doing it very, very soon. For transparency's sake, I do have a very small short position on the IWM, the Russell 2000, but I haven't added to its very small position. But it appears as though we are going to move up higher here this morning. So I wouldn't go shorting quite yet. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. Again, inching up here. We retested the breakout point. Yesterday, it held. And we are following through to the upside. The NASDAQ. Where's my NASDAQ? Where did you go? All right. Sam just sent over a message. Repo market is so scary, almost. Yeah, it's. I have no words. I have no words. This is not going to end well. That's all I can keep saying over and over again, is that it's just not going to end well. Scary stuff. And they're going to have to start buying coupons at some point in time. Right now, they're just buying very, very short-term debt to keep these banks afloat. And we have the NASDAQ, which is inching up higher as well. Very, very overbought on the NASDAQ. Here's that. I'll pull back here a bit. You can see how extended we are. We are going to... we're going to pull back here fairly soon. I mean, if this doesn't tell you computers are keeping this market in check, I don't know what does. And this is why you can't fight it. I mean, it's just so artificial. It's so crazy. You know, if this were to happen in October, July, any other time of year, I'd be shorting the market. But I can't right now. Because they're just going to hit the ask with 100 shares, and they're going to keep this market heading up higher. Now, I will point out that yesterday the VIX closed higher again along with the S&P 500. You've been seeing that quite a bit of late. So what that tells you is that you have, let's see what the VIX is doing this morning. You have institutions out there. It's down a current. But look at this. Look at these Bollingers. Very, very tight Bollingers. You have institutions out there buying insurance. So get ready for volatility into the new year. if we make it that long. Get ready for volatility. So members, more to come. We'll be looking to add short here fairly soon. Let's it's Christmas. Let's take some symbols. Anybody have anything they want me to go over? We have a few minutes to kill. I'll go until 5:30 or so. I'll go over NUGT for those that are interested. And we'll talk breakout and we'll talk resistance. Now, we do have, as a matter of fact, let's you got it, Mila. Let's use TrendSpider. TrendSpider is going to be coming out really soon with a scanning tool for the market. It's going to be really cool. I was on a conference call with them yesterday, or last night, I should say, and they have a scanning tool that's coming out. I asked them whether or not it's going to be able to filter out companies that are optionable, and the jury's out on that quite yet, but they did take it under advisement, and they'll get back to me on it. So yesterday on NUGT, you could see that we broke out above this resistance level here. A really nice day. Now we will have some resistance immediately above right up here. But at current, where is that? 3071. We're bidding right up into that right now, this morning. They're marking up the shares. So just be aware. We have resistance up at 3071. A close above that level takes us up to, I think we're going up to 3250. I've been talking about that price point for quite some time. It's a very, very interesting support level or currently resistance level to watch. So, NUGT looking good. You have to love rising RSI. And we broke out yesterday on RSI, validating the breakout. Stokes are hooking up. I will admit, and I shared this with members going into the new trading week, I was very concerned about the Stokes closing out last week down below the 50 level, both the slow and the fast line. Generally, that's a huge red flag for me. And luckily, we were able to shrug off Friday's bearish price action yesterday and shot up higher. So NUGT is looking good on a daily basis. You can see overlaid here, I have daily resistance and weekly resistance. Let's go to a weekly chart. And here's that higher level view. And here's that ever critical 3250 level on NUGT. We've broken out on RSI, higher lows, and we've broken out, hooking up. Stokes are hooking out up on a weekly basis. I'm liking the setup here for NUGT, but there is resistance above, so show discipline with adding to this position. Please, I don't want to see anybody losing money here. Let's go to a couple of LK. Sam, is that a symbol? LK? I'll assume that it is. Oh, that's right. We talk about this one. Yeah. You brought this one up last week. Yeah, this is a pretty chart. Let's see what happened with this one. Nice. Very, very nice. And you're already in. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like the setup here. We broke out yesterday, beautiful day. We closed above resistance. Very nice. You have a beautiful RSI here and Stokes hooking up, gaining momentum. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. So a little bit of consolidation in the back half of the day yesterday. Most of those gains came yesterday morning, but still a nice chart. Let's take a look at the monthly view for a second. Oh, there's not much data here. Right. That's right. Now I'm remembering. So if you're looking for a stop, if we close it back down below 33.42, remember that number, 33.42. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. If you're looking for a tight stop, 33.42 would be an interesting point to stop out at. If you want to keep it loose, I totally screwed this up. I screwed the pooch. Use one of these support levels down here as a stop point. I don't know what your basis cost is, whether or not you have the room or not. But 33.42 is good. That would be a breakout point failure on a very short-term basis, though, if we don't hold that level. But if you're holding this as a longer-term play, use around $30 per share or so. I'll share this with you as a support level. Oh, it's Chinese? Chinese mainland? Not that it matters anymore. So much for Hong Kong. So, long story short, I like it, Sam. I think it's a nice chart. Not a lot of historical data, but I like it. I don't like the fact that it's Chinese. Okay, so you have some profits there. That's good. So the path of least resistance appears to be up. You know, I would just maybe want to do an overlay of the S&P 500 versus LK or the Russell 2000. See what trades in tandem. And if we begin to see the markets weaken up, you may want to make those profits real. But again, I don't know what your long-term goals are. So I'll leave that to you to make that call. But it looks good. I'm just worried about these markets weakening up here. TENB, is that accurate? Yes. All right. Tenable Holdings. We'll come back to the 4-hour chart. Okay. Let's go to this is a monthly view. All right. So nice W formation forming here. Here's your W. And we have rallied. We have on a weekly basis, here's your upper band of resistance, which we rallied up and into, backed off of. Now we are probing support. 2249 appears to be pretty good resistance, support. We have higher lows being put in here on our indicators. So the weekly chart is looking good. We don't have a lot of data here. Daily chart. We're in a descending wedge formation. Here's your upper band of resistance. And again, your support level at around the 2248 level. And of course, support 2331. So, given the fact that we're in a descending wedge formation, we can't buy in the middle of that formation because generally the resolution to, in this case, a daily descending wedge formation is generally to the downside until you reach the apex, and then you begin to either you resolve to the downside or you break out to the upside. The markets will let you know which way it wants to go. That's the beauty of the descending wedge formation. A lot of people don't like them. I happen to like them. 4-hour chart. Here's where I become a bit more optimistic. This is the first chart we looked at. And you could see that we were in an apex on a descending wedge formation. You could argue that we still are. However, you could see that last 4-hour bar yesterday, we began to break out on a 4-hour basis. So the thing to do here is keep in mind that when you have the trend on a daily basis at current is to the downside, short term, you really can't put all that much emphasis on a 4-hour chart because the trend on a daily basis takes precedence and you could still have a failure here. Were we in an uptrend and we began breaking out on a 4-hour basis, as well as we're breaking out on, were we in an uptrend on a daily basis and we're breaking out on a 4-hour chart, I would buy the breakout on a 4-hour basis. I wouldn't do that just yet. I would wait for a breakout here above this upper band of resistance on a daily basis. I would create my alert. I don't care about touching. I don't care about bouncing. I would keep it really short term. And our alert. What happened to our alert? There it is. There was a delay. Okay, good. I thought I was losing my mind. So that's my play here. I like the 4-hour chart, but I don't like the daily chart. We're still putting in lower highs and lower lows. This needs to get resolved. So a little bit too much risk to buy on a 4-hour basis. I'd rather side with buying on a daily basis. A breakout on a daily basis. What's another one here? We'll finish off with Mila CELH. Celius Holdings. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so this is a weekly chart. Out of curiosity, let me pull back further. Nice. Okay, so on a monthly basis, we're in a ever-tightening wedge formation. Obviously, a lot of resistance above here. And last month, this month, we hit the upper band of resistance and backed off. So this one here really depends upon your horizon. Is this an investment or is this a swing trade? If it's an investment, you don't want to buy right now. You'd want to buy the breakout because you're a buy and hold investor. You want to buy on a close above these upper bands of resistance or wait for a pullback to this lower band of support because you're in a trading range. So that's an investor's perspective. Now, drilling down to a swing trading perspective, a nice setup here. We broke out above this prior support level the week of November the 18th. Rallied to the upper band of resistance, pulled back, did a retest. Very nice stuff. We did it last week. We did it again this week. And you can see it reflected in RSI as well as Stokes. Drilling down to a daily chart. Let's throw one other resistance level up here. So you have a very short-term triangle formation setting up here. That would be a nice breakout point and a retest to open up a position on. And for swing trade, allow it to rally up to, 502. Not much reward for the risk, to be honest with you. Daily chart. We're in a flag formation here. Me personally, I would wait for a breakout above this resistance level. And if we break out and close above that resistance level, that puts into target this level up here at around 588 and rising per share. Because if you bought at current, your resistance level is going to be right at 480 per share. Not much reward for the risk that you're accepting. I would wait for a daily breakout here. You bet, Mila. Yeah, the 4-hour chart is pretty much aligning with the daily chart. I would wait for that breakout on a daily basis. But the chart is looking good. Overall, looking good. Let's leave off with DDOG. Data Dog. That's great. I love that name. You're killing me. Not much data here. All right. Not a lot of data to work with here. I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies. Let's go to a daily chart. I can't draw a conclusion with this limited amount of data. All right, so yesterday's price action was not wonderful. It's concerning. We did manage a breakout here on the 16th, failed on the 17th, broke out yet again on the 18th. A lot of volatility here. If I were to buy these shares, I have two price points where I would look to buy them. One, on a close above 39.70, that will take you above where you have currently overhead supply resistance above from back in November, and back in earlier November and then later November again. So you saw that resistance level get hit yesterday, and those sellers woke up and they sold, as you would expect. Not a lot of overhead supply here, but it's supply nonetheless. The other area where I would look to get long is on a pullback and a retest here. And you may get that, especially with these markets so extended right now. So, again, it could be bought on a close above 39.70 with a stop right below that level, or on a pullback and a retest of this declining lower band of support, which is currently at around 36.25. And I'll share this with you. We'll take a quick peek at the 4-hour chart as well. Yeah, Mila, I data, historical data to me is so critical because it gives you an edge over other traders because you know where you have historical support and resistance. And when I see a chart like this, let's go to a monthly chart. This is all I have to work with. I'm like a blind man walking around without a cane. So it really helps when you have that historical data. Not that the shares can't be traded. You just need to be a bit more of a manager of that position so you don't incur a big loss. That's all. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. Not much happening here. Again, here's your big problem back here. These sellers from back in November, they are looking to get made whole. It's a natural thing, and they're going to sell into strength. They're not looking to make money. Especially this time of year. You have your tax loss selling that occurs. So just be aware of that. Not that many people would have big losses here. And with that, I'm going to call it a day, folks. I'm going to hit the gym, and I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Enjoy the time with your families, and I will talk to you on tomorrow's Christmas, Thursday. We'll do a swing trading today on Thursday. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I will talk to you soon. Be well.